Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wei Cai. Thank you for joining us. In today's show, we join New York City volunteers in the formal celebration of the Buddha's holiday, Vesak, at the United Nations Assembly Hall. In preparation for what is to be the Philippines' first large-scale City Buddha Day ceremony, participants undergo intensive rehearsals to familiarize with the day's proceedings. And later, we speak to one highway engineer turned environmental activist in Taiwan whose drastic career change was brought on by a revelation after the 1999 Taiwan earthquake. On May 7th, a celebration of the Buddha's holiday Vesak was held in the United Nations Assembly Hall with Buddhist representatives from 15 different regions in attendance. Among them were volunteers from Tzu Chi's New York chapter who attended on behalf of Tzu Chi members worldwide. On November 12, 1999, the 54th Congress of the United Nations passed Resolution 115, which recognized Vesak as a UN holiday. Being a lunar holiday, Vesak falls on the day of the full moon in May. This year's celebration of the United Nations Day of Vesak, as it is officially called, fell on May 5th and was held for just the second time at the United Nations Assembly Hall. Among those in attendance were Tzu Chi volunteers from the New York branch.
We are representing all of the Tzu Chi members worldwide and are here to show how Tzu Chi is forwarding Buddhist teachings across the globe. Buddhists from a total of 15 countries, including Sri Lanka, Bengal, Burma, Cambodia, and Japan, assembled in the General Assembly Hall to share the meaning behind Buddhism and Vesak.
Many holidays, like Christian holidays and so forth, are recognized, United Nations included. There's no recognition of the Buddha's, birthday and so forth. So this is significant that they start recognize the, the holiday of the Buddhism.
Modern, fast-paced life, how to have more inner peace and more calm and more compassion for people and taking care of the environment. And so we're here to celebrate, this great body of teachings and the Buddha's life and all the Buddhists around the world who are promoting peace.
In addition to the chanting of Buddhist scriptures, dancers from Bengal and India put on a performance for the audience. As different shades of Buddhist culture are being exchanged, Tzu Chi is here to take part and hopes to do more in the future.
We hope that through our efforts, one day Tzu Chi can host the Buddha Day celebration here at the UN to show the world the beauty behind the ceremonies celebrating this day.
On May 7th, inside Taiwan's longest Xueshan tunnel, a car crash led to a fire, resulting in 2 deaths and 31 injuries. Li Yungong and his wife, Wen Sujiao, perished in the blaze. The couple's family is still unable to come to terms with their deaths. City volunteers made their way to the family, bringing emotional support as well as consolation cash.
With tears in his eyes, 81-year-old Grandpa Lee is still overwhelmed and in shock that his oldest son and daughter-in-law passed away on Monday in the recent Xueshan Tunnel car accident. The couple is not only the breadwinners at home, but also filial children to the bereaved man.
I told Grandpa that he needs to be brave. His grandchildren are still young and are not married yet. Things will be better in a few years' time.
After the tragedy, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately mobilized to provide emotional support as well as consolation cash. Yilan County Mayor Lin Tongxian also arrived to check on the family. The couple lived with their father and 2 sons before the accident, and to help the remaining family members overcome their pain, the Social Affairs Department will be providing counseling and taking special note of Grandpa Lee's health condition as well.
A social worker from our department has been put in charge of visiting this family on a daily basis to care and assist them in applying for relevant benefits.
Losing a family member is never easy, and Tzu Chi volunteers vow to accompany Grandpa Lee and his grandchildren whenever needed.
Tzu Chi in the Philippines is holding its first ever large-scale Buddha Day ceremony in the country. Altogether, 10,000 participants have gathered to take part. In the days leading up to the ceremony, volunteers have been busy organizing the venue, while participants have been working hard to perfect their steps.
Ching 500 Tzu Chi scholarship recipients, although not understanding a word of Chinese, thanks to the use of pinyin and hard work, get their parts down to a T.
I'm very blessed po na nabigyan
I feel so blessed that I have a chance to participate. We're just ordinary people, but we can come together and help make up a Buddha figure.
This is the first time Tzu Chi is holding such a large-scale Buddha Day celebration in the Philippines. Whether it is scholarship recipients, care recipients, or Tzu Chi members young and old, all are here to help make the ceremony a success.
Every year I take part in the Buddha Day celebration. This year the event is held at Manila Sports Stadium. I don't know if I can stand for the whole thing, but I hope the Bodhisattvas will help me make it through the whole ceremony.
Over 10,000 people are planning to attend. Although I'm a bit old, I also plan on attending, and I'm looking forward to being part of the Buddha Day celebration.
During Tzu Chi's activities, we won't think about the difficulties we are facing. Only positive news is shared and spoken, so I become very peaceful.
While participants practice their parts, volunteers work to get all the 5,000 floor markers in place before the start of the ceremony.
We're putting all these markers on the ground. That way participants will easily be able to tell their place by looking at their color and number. Since we have 10,000 people participating, this will ensure that everyone is in the right order.
Together, everyone is working hard to ensure that this Buddha Day in the Philippines will be remembered in the hearts and minds of many for years to come.
In addition to holding a large-scale ceremony to honor Buddha Day, the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter will also be distributing rice to about 5,000 families. On May 9th, volunteers went to Barangay Malande, Marikina City, to hand out rice vouchers as well as invitations to the Buddha Day ceremony.
This is one of the communities that bore the burn of Typhoon Kasana in 2009. During the disaster, the water level once reached 2 floors high. This place was completely destroyed. Now we see many stores around. However, in dark corners, you'll see many people who are still struggling. Following the volunteers into the alley, today we are visiting a 70-year-old senior. The old man and his wife lost their only son to the typhoon and can only make a living by cooking for their neighbors.
When my son passed away, suddenly I didn't know what to do with my life. I was very upset.
After her husband died in a fire, Nita Bella can barely make a living from selling tofu. Now she's living in a 3-story building with the other 34 families that were displaced by the fire. Residents can only sleep on the floor and shower with water collected from the outside.
The fire destroyed everything and now I'm homeless. I really need your help.
Joined by the Filipino volunteers, Tzu Chi volunteers conducted home visits around the community, bringing rice vouchers and emotional comfort to the victims.
In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers have long cared for leprosy patients at Sungai Buloh Leprosy Control Center. As most of the patients are elderly and traveling is an inconvenience, volunteers decided to hold a Buddha Day ceremony at the center.
Buddhist chanting surrounds Malaysia's Sungai Buloh Leprosy Control Center. These small cabins behind me were built in 1930s by the then British Empire. Patients residing here are all well over 50 years old.
Since 1958, Li Chu-chen, who was a resident here, has been supporting himself by growing and selling plants. Due to his business, Grandpa Li has never participated in the Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremony in the past. This year will be his first time in experiencing Dharma joy.
I feel very happy inside. It's nice when people come to give you their blessings.
This is also the first Buddha Day ceremony for Tzu Chi volunteer Tang Fengyi. Bringing her children along, Tang has gained new insights after giving her blessings to the residents.
This is a rare opportunity. Though these people seldom go out, this is a great way for them to participate in this kind of event.
Those leprosy patients who can take care of themselves live inside the cabins, while those who need to be cared for stay inside the treatment center. But wherever they may be, volunteers make sure each and every one of them has a chance to receive blessings through this auspicious ritual.
In New Taipei City's Yonghe, Tzu Chi volunteer Deng Genghui first came to know Tzu Chi when she started working some 20 years ago. However, it wasn't until Deng's son joined Tzu Chi's basketball team that she reconnected with the organization. Last year, Deng finally became a Tzu Chi commissioner, and this year she is bringing her whole family to take part in the Buddha Day ceremony.
From designing, cutting the pattern, to sewing the final product, every step of hand-making clothes are skills Deng Genghui learned thanks to her mother, who favored boys over girls, which gave her an opportunity to begin working at a very young age.
If it wasn't for these challenges, I won't be able to do what I do today. When we were learning the paperboarding section in fashion design, if it wasn't a good thought that motivated me to learn, then of course I wouldn't be able to have these skills.
Some 20 years ago, Deng already met Tzu Chi through a colleague. However, she was busy with work. It wasn't until her son joined the Tzu Chi basketball team that she reconnected with the Buddhist NGO.
The seed of goodness that I planted, I'm glad to see those seeds didn't go rotten, because my son also joined Tzu Chi, and so I think the seed that I planted was waiting to grow and blossom.
Here at this year's Buddha Day ceremony rehearsal, Deng Genghui is here with her family in hopes of gaining wisdom and getting rid of the impurities.
I think it is great for our family interaction, and if my whole family can participate, there'll be more Dharma joy with which we can share with each other.
The Buddha Day ceremony at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall really takes you to a whole new emotional level.
Participating in Tzu Chi's activities have become a family day for the volunteers' family. The camera-shy son also expresses his gratitude to his mother on this special day.
On this Buddha Day, I wish my mom Happy Mother's Day. And to all the parents in the world, a Happy Mother's Day to you too.
In the third part of our featured series, Life's Revelations, today we introduce to you a highway engineer who became an advocate of ecological engineering. After 20 years of road construction, Qiu Mingyuan had his moment of revelation when a huge earthquake struck Taiwan in 1999. He realized that love and respect for the environment is the only way to a win-win situation for the coexistence of humans and Mother Earth.
I've lost count of the number of times I visited Bayan settlement in Jinsan. But every trip is like traveling back in time to relive my childhood. The verdant landscape and the turquoise rivers are a gift from Mother Nature. My name is Qiu Mingyuan. 5 years ago, I left my job of nearly 20 years as a highway engineer to become a wildlife volunteer, an activist for the environment.
那边还有个洞位，然后就是那条椅子那边。好，老师，我们请小朋友把。
Teachers, please have your students leave their backpacks and things on the table.
小朋友，我们把东西放在
My favorite job now is to bring kids closer to nature, promote environmentalism and organic farming. Every time we carry out the ritual to pray for good weather, I am reminded again of the insignificance of humanity and humbled by the wonders of nature. We give our thanks to God for the hardworking farmers and the great rice they grow, and pray that today's rice transplantation will be a success. Let's say this together. Ba Yan's fantastic rice is a godsend. Thank you, everyone. Put your hands together to thank God once again.
谢谢老师，好不好？谢谢。哇，小朋友好可爱哈！孩子们天真的回馈。
My greatest reward comes from the children's ingenuous and positive feedback. Looking back at my 20 years as a highway engineer, it was ignorant of me to believe that with courage and determination, man can ultimately conquer nature. I had never doubted the potential of the human race.
人类力量的极限。
It wasn't until the 1999 earthquake in Taiwan that I realized how vulnerable human beings are in the face of nature. I was wrong to think otherwise.
在921大地震的灾难现场，不止让
The destruction brought on by the massive earthquake has illustrated for me how helpless we are when nature strikes back. The incident compelled us to re-examine our actions and think beyond our own needs. Mother Nature is alive. She is the source of human life. Civilization and development advance at the expense of the environment, and every construction, great and small, leaves lasting scars on our planet. It is with that realization I try to make amendments by practicing ecological road construction in all my later highway projects. However, my efforts could in no way diminish my guilt as an arrogant human being who care little about our environment.
但我知道这不足以安慰我对大地母亲灵的愧疚。40岁的那一年
So the year I turned 40, I decided to become an environmental servant. And along the way, I met a lot of like-minded people, even though I don't make as much money as I used to. But every day, I live in gratitude, knowing that I've made a right choice in life.
正确的道路。大地母亲
Mother Nature, thank you for being the greatest teacher I could ever ask for. I will use my life, my entire being, to protect, defend, and honor your grace.
Lin Hejia from Fengyuan, Taichung, used to celebrate Mother's Day with his wife, who couldn't have the child. 10 years ago, his wife fell ill and became comatose. Lin visits her regularly at the nursing home and always brings her fresh flowers on Mother's Day.
Lin Hejia always gives his wife Aaron a massage and gently speaks to her every time he visits.
好，恢复，然后再来。
He also sings her favorite song at her bedside.
I raise a perfect more than I can say.
Aaron had an aneurysm in the brain 10 years ago and has been in a coma ever since. Over the past 10 years, Lin always personally gives his blessings to his wife on Mother's Day.
送你一朵玫瑰花，玫瑰花。
The couple has been married for many years, but does not have a child. Knowing this has always been a missing piece for his wife, Lin Hejia always celebrated Mother's Day with her before she got sick. He still wishes to do this for Aaron even now she's in a coma.
I still hope that if I visit her often, maybe she will get better soon.
My uncle spends a lot of time taking care of Aunt. He hopes that one day she can get well again. He often talks to her. I'm very touched.
Lin Hejia watches over Aaron in his own way. He wishes for a miracle and that his wife will recover someday.
Staying in Taiwan but moving to Kaohsiung, the Hope Foundation for Cancer Care held an art exhibition featuring 400 artworks by cancer patients and their families. We find out in the next report how art helps bring hope to these families.
为了感谢那位护士阿姨，我也不能为她做什么事，所以我就画了一张护士的图送给那个阿姨。对，我觉得画画可以带给很多人欢乐，也可以带给我自己快乐。
The Hope Foundation for Cancer Care holds an art exhibition with more than 400 paintings by cancer patients and their families to share with the public their stories of struggle and hope.
This is me cooking the hot pot. My daughter likes to eat seafood. She's having chemotherapy over here. The treatment takes a long time, so she can't go out and interact with other children.
During the interview, Mrs. Wang choked with tears many times when she thought about her daughter, who is afflicted with leukemia and couldn't join the event. Looking at her Mother's Day gift, a picture drawn by her daughter, Mrs. Wang is very happy.
I told my daughter her new hair will be prettier. Initially, she didn't have curly hair, but the chemotherapy has burnt her hair and made it curly.
To cheer up her sick daughter, Mrs. Wang always encourages her with positive words. Through these paintings and the stories behind them, the Hope Foundation for Cancer Care hopes to inspire more patients to overcome their sickness with love and hope.
Jianshi tribal community in Taiwan's Hsinchu has always lacked educational resources, making it hard for students to develop an interest in learning. Fortunately, a study program has been set up by Zhishan Foundation, where professional tutors have been recruited to help youngsters learn effectively and build up their confidence.
Ji Xiaojun is an indigenous singer from the Puyuma tribe. She is in Jianshi today as a music teacher. She uses her own story as an example to encourage these children to be confident and to learn.
I was a stammerer when I was little, but with the support from my family and friends, I knew that it is treatable.
Nearly 30% of the elementary school students in Jianshi are behind the normal learning curve. Their tutors and tribal mothers work together to teach the students in a language they understand.
So when the teacher says, let's do math today and ask how many pepper bells your fathers grow and how many cabbages they sell, the kids will answer, I know. Very soon the students will learn math this way.
The study program provided by Zhishan Foundation will continue to invite professional tutors to the mountains to help the students to build up confidence, and hopefully they will find their own paths in the future.
Finally, today in Xiamen, China, Ciji's recycling station has become a popular destination for school excursions, and local teachers and students also keenly take part in mountain cleanups with Ciji volunteers. That's it for our show, and see you on Monday.